Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Shamimi Roslan, 1181627, and my team members will be presenting to you the infographic that we choose. And first and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Fauziah and Dr. Rosnita for giving us an opportunity to study the human-computer interaction for this semester. And without further ado, let's proceed with our infographic. All right. From a general point of view, we can say that this infographic seems attractive to be seen due to the color choice. And indeed, color is essential too because the color grants you the clarity and understandable for each infographic you have seen. And for example here, the infographic design's color is contrast between the background and also the text. And it might be useful to the reader to tell the difference and present to their eyes. And also, the content shown by the infographer is well organized and neat, makes the reader to understand easily what the content is all about. And for this infographic, one of the reasons the reader might proceed to read further is because this infographic doesn't confuse the reader and stated the main point clearly. In other words, the text presentation is minimal and concise, yet the infographic can still be informative. And that's all from me. Up next is Raihana Maksum. One of the team members will be explain to us more about the infographic display in terms of colors, the use of text, font size, the arrangement of visual, and the suitability of displaying the text.
Thanks to Nur Shamimi binti Roslan. My name is Nur Raihana binti Maksum. I will proceed with the use of color, font size and text, arrangement and also display. For this infographic, the designer used contrast color, not a dim color, and they also use a different background color to differentiate between the main points and their elaboration. Other than that, it is also highlighted the main point by bold the word that which clearly shows that it is important information. These infographics also use a suitable font which is a formal and also simple to make the readers easy to read. The font size of the infographics also moderate and medium, not too big. Next, for the arrangement visual also well arranged and simple, not too loaded with information. The designer used the suitable UI or infographic by use timeline style to show the comparison between the do's and don'ts of designing a minimal website. While for the displays, the designer classified the data in the correct way and grouping the content in a suitable order.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's go to the next part, which is the general view of the content. First of all, my name is Mahira binti Hashim. My metric number is 1181613. First of all, let's talk about statistics. Yes, this infographic provides statistics, but the statistic provided in this infographic is in the form of percentage and only mentioned once. But for us, it is just nice for this kind of infographic have a few of statistics in it. Then the content is easy to read because it is simple and easy to understand, because the font used is suitable and the information in the infographic is not too crowded and not too much. Then the content is easy to remember because it used a suitable icon that related to the content represent in the infographic. Next, the content is not too broad and not too long until it is very easy to remember, and the data given is easy to catch and to keep in mind. As we can see in the infographic itself, there are many icons, then the icon is related to the content given in the infographic. Therefore, I brave to say that the infographic is very eye-catcher with the colorful design and the structured design of the infographic. Next, references. Yes, this infographic provide references, and as we can see in the infographic, at the bottom of the infographic there are 3 references provided. So it is ease the reader for make a reference in a feature need. Last but not least, for this infographic, it seems we agree it is do not have any errors regarding to the content and regarding to design. All of the content and all of the design is well created, and we all agree and we all satisfied with the content of the infographic. That's all for my part. Let's go to the next part. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahira. Since we already figured out what type of user interface design we use, and also we are completely agreeable about the content shown, and now it is time to read. We all agree that this infographic is free from mistake, right? Hence, we will read 5/5 as a sign of gratitude to the infographer for making us easy to extract and retrieve the information. Because for me, myself, love something that brings benefit for me, as it can save your time, simple, but it's really helpful. Like I mentioned earlier, this infographic is one of the best design because the infographic is clear in terms of text representation, and it is simple to read and also skim. Finally, before we conclude this video, we are noticed that the title chosen of infographic should be attractive as well, as it can influence the reader to read further. Adrian, a content marketing in 2019, said that choose a title that will engage your audience for the information that can be digested in the next minute. Meaning that we must make it easier for the reader to grasp the rest of the graphic by just looking at the title. That is we call a good infographic as well. Other than that, we have noticed that this infographic we have chosen give additional information to. All right. Okay. If you look closely, the title only mentioned the do's and don'ts of minimal website design, but it still gives an extra knowledge that related to the topic. So that is why we suggest that additional information is recommended, but make sure to make it concise and avoid crowded text. Last but not least, while having the ability to develop infographic is beneficial, having the ability to distinguish between the good and bad infographic as well is essential too, in order to save your time. So that's all from us from this video. Hope you guys like it. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum.